What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Motor City, newest and latest film from director Potsy Ponciroli. Okay, so in this very novel concept of a movie, Motor City in a nutshell is about a character named John Miller, played by Alan Richson, who's set up as basically this drug dealer that he is not. He has recently just been paroled, and he is sent to jail for 24 years. While in the process, his girlfriend, played by Shailene Woodley, goes back to her former lover, who's played by Ben Foster, who plays Reynolds. And it's a revenge story. It's a setup story. It's a story about a person trying to get back to his girlfriend, trying to prove his innocence, and the corruption of the Detroit police system in 1977. And it's a action movie with action sensibilities, with revenge plots. It has, of course, Ben McKenzie and Ben Foster, and of course Pablo Schreiber as the main kind of antagonist, as well as Ben Foster as the main antagonist. And it's just a revenge story in a lot of respects. A guy gets put in jail, gets out, and of course tries to go back after the guys who basically set him up. The novelty of this movie and what Potsy Ponciroli is doing is telling this entire story with as little dialogue as he can get away with. So there's literally 6 lines of dialogue. It's all action set pieces. It's all famous music, and it's all characters emoting with their face, with their emotions, and literally nobody's talking in the movie. So it's similar to like something like Silent Night, or something like if this movie were in the 30s and had like the the Al Jolson thing that he did like one song and like actual sound. And basically it's a action film with literally no dialogue and violent set pieces. So that's kind of where it rolls when it comes to Motor City. So the novel concept is actually pretty cool, to be fairly honest. It was something I wasn't expecting because it was the mystery movie of the week. So I didn't really, I've heard of Motor City before. I heard it was pretty decent, but I really didn't know much about it, to be fairly honest. I knew Alan Richson was in it. I know he's as an individual, he's supposed to be a really polite individual, but he's a really imposing, very tall guy. That's why he plays Jack Reacher. That's why he's in, Guy Ritchie films. He's a guy similar to like Dave Bautista or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, where they're very imposing individuals, and they get kind of put into the subcategory of individuals that can be in action movies, but sometimes can't be in other things. So that's why Alan Richson does what he does. But it's a movie where he is basically put into a role where he literally doesn't talk. The entire movie literally does not talk. So it's interesting to see if Alan Richson can pull that off. And like I said, Ben Foster and Pablo Schreiber and Ben McKenzie all literally to say nothing. Shailene Woodley is literally the actress that gets the most dialogue, and I think she says 4 things in the entire movie. But, going into this movie has to rely on its not only action set pieces, but its characters and actors fulfilling those action set pieces without saying a single line of dialogue. So with that said, for my honest opinion of this movie, it's a pretty entertaining movie. It's not a perfect movie. It has its issues when it comes to its storytelling narratives. It's very predictable. It's very by the book. But what makes this movie interesting is that novelty, the fact that nobody really says anything. The fact that they use the director and the writer, Chad St. John, uses like famous songs to kind of exercise the idea of like the dialogue itself. The dialogue that's in there is it's kind of a way to tone out the movie a little bit, to be fairly honest. But when you're watching the characters like sit with one another, it pushes back to the background so that you can't see what they're saying, but you can kind of get the gist of how they emote and how they act. So therefore, I think the movie works on that realm. It's just not a very interesting story. It's something you've seen a billion times before. The action set pieces are gratuitously violent. It does have some cool moments like the slow motion scene that you see in the trailer, and like the setup is cool, but like I said, it's very, very predictable. So it's just not the best level of movie you've ever seen. You go in for knowing the novelty of the movie, and that's what it's worth. I mean, it's not a movie that's going to do very well. It's on IFC. It's something that is going to play well like on the IFC channel or AMC, but just know going in, it is just literally just watching Alan Richson emote and have to relate to individuals, even though he's a very imposing figure. And that's the main problem of this movie, is he's so imposing, but yet he's taken down so easily that it becomes a little kind of fantastical, to be fairly honest. I mean, these characters of Ben Foster's like drug dealer character and Pablo Schreiber's, corrupt cop and so on and so forth, they would never be able to handle this type of individual. But once again, It's a movie that takes place in 1977. It has cool cars and muscly cars, and he has a couple friends from like I think like the Vietnam War or something like that. And it plays into like a very kind of campy, over the top, kind of grungy film in a lot of respects because it takes place in Detroit. It's very exploitative in a lot of respects of like exploitation films, to be fairly honest. And it fits into like that American Hustle kind of world, to be fairly honest. Though, like I said, I do give a lot of credit to the fact that, you know, Chad St. John and Potsy Ponciroli were willing to do this because it makes it a very novel concept. But yeah, I mean, that's Motor City. In a nutshell, it's just an entertaining movie. It is what it is. It doesn't do anything new or exciting outside of the novelty of like no talking. But if you just want a good, fun action set piece style movie, that's what you're gonna get. So there you go. Anyways, with that said, that's my take. I do appreciate it. In the comments below, what do you think of Motor City? If you saw it at the Mystery Movie of the Week, let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, all that good stuff. What's your favorite action movie? We'll go with that too. But otherwise, if you like what you see on the channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.